Hi again everyone, I'm back again today to show you this really fun technique using Brushos and Perfect Pearls. So I'm going to make some Valentine's cards, so we'll be using the Brilliant Red and a mixture of the Perfect Pearls. I've made up my own little Perfect Pearl misters, which is really easy to do. If you've got some mini misters, just add some water and the colours of the Perfect Pearls that you've got, and it makes for a really good little spray mist for your cards. So today I'm going to work mainly with mixed media paper, but when I'm doing the ink smooshing with the Brushos, I always keep some spare either mixed media paper or watercolor paper on hand, because there's always a little bit more ink than we need. So I like to soak up that ink with some extra bits of paper. I've got two large sized pieces of paper, not cut to any specific size, because I'm going to completely cover them with ink with the Brushos and Perfect Pearls, so we can do some die cutting with those panels. So this is the first way to add Perfect Pearls to your Brushos, and that's straight out of the jar. So I've sprinkled obviously the Brushos onto the craft mat and added some Perfect Pearls, and then we're just going to mix that little concoction with water and watch it all react with each other. Now when you're using mixed media paper, it doesn't absorb the ink and water like watercolor paper does. So you will find that, well, what I find is, what I like to do is I dry each panel and then I'll start smooshing again, especially if you want a deeper color. Obviously when you're combining a red color with white paper, your colors can turn out even a bit pinkish. So if I want a really dark red, I just keep smooshing between drying my panel so I can get that deeper color. Plus it gives lots of nice effects and texture to your cards stock as well. So now I've got a bit of extra ink on my craft mat there. So what I'm going to do is grab a piece of watercolor paper and soak up all that extra ink that I've got there. Now when you're working with the inks and the Perfect Pearls, there's no right or wrong, it's just as it comes. It's nothing you really have any control over, but it looks fabulous at the end. Now this piece of watercolor paper has dried a bit, so I'm going to deepen the colors a bit more, but this time I've used the Brushos and my Perfect Pearls out of the spray bottle. So what the spray bottle does with the Perfect Pearls is it activates the Brushos, so you don't need any water. And that's a good way of combining the two. Now what I'm going to do with this panel is, before I smoosh it through the ink, is I'm going to emboss it. So I'm going to use the Happy Little Stamper set called Thinking of You, and just concentrate on using the script stamp. So it'll be embossed in white powder. I've stamped quite randomly because it doesn't matter. I'm going to die cut this piece. And what we will be left with is a really nice embossed piece with Brusho and Perfect Pearl smooshing all over it. So once again, this is on mixed media paper, so as I said before, it doesn't soak up the ink as well as watercolor paper. So just keep in mind that you just can keep smooshing and smooshing until, you know, in between drying your panel, and you'll start getting some really nice deep colors. This time I decided on this piece is just to spray the Perfect Pearls straight over the ink smooshing, so we get that really a lot of extra gold in this one. The camera probably doesn't pick it up too well, but the pieces have a really beautiful shine in them, and it really lifts up that Brusho colour. So there's my piece with the embossed lines, and now I've got a number of pieces that I can use, whether I cut them down to size for a card front or die cut out little bits and pieces. Today I'm going to die cut out some hearts because I'm going to make some Valentine's Day cards. So I've got a selection of heart dies that I'm going to use. So I'll take them over to the big shot and I'll see you back in not too long. So here you can see I've got a really nice assortment of hearts, and I even included a little banner die. Now when I die cut the script panel, I didn't line it up or anything, I just die cut it randomly, and I really like the effect that the script had on those on the hearts there. Now what I decided to do was get some ink and sponges and start sponging around the edges of some of these pieces. So I've got gold, festive berries and vintage photo, and it really does lift up those pieces. So I'm going to leave you with a bit of music now as I'm going to start to assemble my cards, and you can just sit back and watch, and I'll be back with you shortly. Okay, so I've put all my cards together, and now I've got a lot of extra bits and pieces, so I just use a zip bag to keep all my panels in and all my die cuts that I can save for a later date. I'd like to thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and please give this a go. Bye bye.